Everybody, I hope you are all well. I hope you were able to enjoy the beautiful weekend there was this weekend. This is our Learn About It video for lesson 1 of week 7, solving right triangles. So in order to solve right triangles, sometimes we have to use something called the inverse of our trig functions. So for example, if we know what x is, but we want to know what the sign is, we use this sine -1. That stands for the inverse. So we could say that the tangent of 5 is 45. If you want to use the calculator to find the measurement for 1, you would type in tan -1 of 1 is equal to 45. If you don't have a calculator that has the scientific buttons on it, you can always go to this link, and this is the calculator that will come up. This is what it looks like. So to use the calculator, if we want to find the inverse cosine of 0.81, first you would type in the button cosine -1, then you would type in the 0.87, and this will be displayed. Then you want to make sure you follow the directions on what you're rounding to. So for example, on this one, we're rounding to the nearest whole angle, 29.5 would round to 30. 58 and 0.2 would round to 58. 35.37 would round to 35. 48.5 will round up to 49. 36.8 would round up to 37. And 54.6 would stay at 54. So when they tell you to solve a right triangle, they want you to make sure you have all angle and all side lengths. So it depends. If we have 2 of the sides, we follow steps by using the Pythagorean theorem, writing a trig ratio, and applying the angle sum theorem. If you have a side and an angle, use the triangle sum theorem, and we can write a trig ratio, and we can use the Pythagorean theorem. So for example, on this one, we have the 2 sides. So first, to find a third side, we're going to use the Pythagorean theorem. Remember, that's a squared plus b squared equals c squared. We would have 5 squared plus b squared equals 5 7/10 squared. So 25 plus b squared equals 32.49. Subtract 25 from both sides, and we get b squared equals 7.49. Take the square root of both sides, and b would be 2.74 if we then round it. Now we're going to use one of our trig functions, but since we're finding the angle, that's when we're going to use our negative. So let's say we're over here at r, and we use the cosine. We would say the cosine of r is equal to, remember that's adjacent, which is 5, over hypotenuse, which is 5.7. So then to find the measure of r, we would do the cosine -1 of 5 over 5 7/10. And we would type this into our calculator, and we would get that the measure of angle R is equal to 29 degrees. This is 29. So now to find T, that's where we're going to use our triangle sum, which says all three angles add up to 180. So 90 plus 29 plus T is equal to 180. So I can do 180 minus 90 minus 29 to figure out T, and that gives us 61 degrees. And now we have solved our right triangle because now we have all the side lengths and we have all the angles. All right, so now we're going to do it when we have two of the are a side and an angle. So first we're going to find the missing angle because we know that 90 plus 58 plus the measure of angle D equals 180. So you do 180 minus 90 minus 58, which gives us 32 degrees. So I know D is 32. So now I can use one of my trig ratios to find the missing side. So I'm going to use D, and we're going to do the sine. So now I know that the sine of yeah, why don't we do, yeah, let's do F. I like that one better. So I know that the sine of 58 is equal to, so sine is opposite, so that's 14 over x. So then I know that when we cross multiply, x times the sine of 58 equals 14. Divide both sides by the sine of 58. And we get that x is equal to 16 51/100. And then finally, to find our last side, we're going to use the Pythagorean theorem. So I know that we have a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So we'd have a squared plus 14 squared equals 16, 51/100 squared. So a squared plus 196 equals, then we would do 16 51/100 squared. That's equal to 272 58/100. Subtract 196 from both sides. And we have a squared equals 76 58/100. Take the square root and we get a is equal to 8 75/100. And now we've solved a right triangle because we have all the sides and all. So review the other examples and videos that are also on the Learn About It page. And you'll go on to the Try It. We'll do another video for that. You'll check all your answers. If you're in my name is Thomas's class, you'll do the second activity. Take care, stay well, and we'll talk soon. Bye.